Hey guys, it's Out of Darts. This is another tutorial on how to install our new 3D printed foregrip that I designed. Pump grip, rather, for the Nerf rival Artemis. I, like my other video, forgot to actually make a tutorial. Now, I apologize for some of the camera movement. I can tell that I'm moving the camera. I'm going to get an actual serious rig where I can have a suspended camera, but my camera is large and I'm using a slider to hold it in place. Anyway, it's not steady, it's not ideal, and I didn't want to drag out the cart and all the production gear to rig something up. But in the future, I'm going to have a permanent rig in my workshop so I can do stuff like this. But anyway, we're first going to talk what comes when you buy this. You get two M40 screws with, M3 by 40 millimeters screws with little nuts and 3D printed grip. It's pretty obvious which side takes which. You've got a hexagon on one side, which is obviously for the nut, and on the other side you've got just a regular hole. There's a slot in the top here, which is contoured around this part exactly, so it slides right on, and the screws go in. But obviously, before you can do that, you have the more difficult part of removing this grip. Now here you can see the one that I did in our first video. The first look at this blaster, and I definitely scratched it a little bit here on the inside, but overall I left it pretty intact. And the way to do that is sort of hard to explain, but I'm going to show on the second half of this. And it's not going to be easy because it's half undone already. But essentially what I would do is, if you have a set of spudgers, you can use those. They'll scratch less. Spudgers are just little plastic bits. But what I would recommend is essentially keep working your way in here with this, and you're going to need to do this on both sides at the same time. So I actually ended up using like 4 of these to properly do this. Once you get on the inside, you've essentially got these 2 little clips that are hooked around little posts, and if you peel those up, then you can get this off without breaking it. Now, alternatively, I knew with my second one that I was never going to use the stock grip again, because I really like the grip I designed and I like using it. So I took a pliers with some, a little bit of destruction and said, who cares? So it's kind of up to you. It is a little finicky removing these, and you'll have to see what you can do. But essentially pry the parts off, get the hook, the other hook. Could even have to help to have a second set of hands or something like that. But here you can see where the hooks are. So to get that off, you'd have to pop those up, and then you're able to pull right off. Not totally ideal as far as removal, but again, if you are replacing the grip, I don't worry so much about this part, unless you have another purpose for it, and that's a different thing entirely. So back to the actual install, you essentially, the prettiest side, that is the top of the print, this is the bottom of the print here, you can see it's nice and flat, and you can see a little bit more of the layers where they touch the surface of the print bed. But you basically are just going to line this up, push that right on, make sure that you can see all the way through, and you're going to take your 2 screws, shove them through here. A couple people have asked why I use such small screws. There were a couple reasons, but one of the big ones being that it's less visually distractive, and you don't have to feel the screw in your hand, and you don't feel a big gaping hole here, and you also don't need to do any fill work. So I ended up really liking the smaller screws because it allowed me to, really see what's going on. Now I am having a problem getting this in. Let's just keep kind of monkeying with it here. I got one side in, but we're still. And it can't hurt to also just go ahead and put your nuts on this side in advance of actually putting the screw through. Now I've again made these quite tight as well. I want them to be as small as they can be without I have made these all of the holes quite tight. I want them that way. That way they are the minimum feel on your hands. So these are essentially set up that you may just give them a nice little push in with a screwdriver. Didn't take a ton of force, just a little bit. You're going to want a 2.5 millimeter Allen key to screw that in. That should be in every single basic set you ever get, or a multi-set. And you're going to just screw that in until it is nice and tight. And then same with the second side, we're going to, you can take the same Allen key and you can kind of shove it in there, and you're going to work the handle up directionally on here just to make sure that you've got a clear path for the screw. And just like that, we're ready to go. This is sort of a new series doing these tutorial videos. I'm definitely going to do a lot more of this in the future. This is definitely not my weekly video. Do check back this Thursday for a big update, and I'm very excited to share finally what I've been working on. It's just an update from a previous design, and it should be quite a lot of fun. And why are you not going? Oh, so essentially it's fallen out slightly when I'm doing this, so this is really awkward trying to do this towards camera. I would actually recommend just doing this on the side like this. So at this point I'm struggling with this. I'm just going to use another screwdriver to make sure that that stays in there, and now I'm finally gripping those threads. I made the screws just over the length of the nut, so there we are. So I like this because when your hand is on these small little openings, you don't feel them, and because of that, it has a nice, really good feel. A couple design notes I thought I would just mention while I'm here. I chose not to go into the rail on this model because I wanted to go really minimal, and when your hand, I'm trying to get autofocus here hopefully, when your hand is like this, if my hand really fills this in nicely when I'm holding this, and if I were to add those rails, I wouldn't be able to wrap my fingers around this as much without making a much larger grip. Now, there are definitely different approaches with this, and we are going to be selling the radio silence version coming up, which is a much more beefy feel and kind of a different style, which is very cool to see different designers. That is it for now. Thanks for watching. I hope this is helpful for everybody that's purchasing one. If there are any other questions, please post them in the comments or shoot me a message. I'm always available by email and the Etsy conversations to answer questions and whatnot. And as always, if you ever have any problem with anything in the shop, please get a hold of me right away, and we will make sure we take care of you. We are aiming for 100% customer satisfaction all the time, and I expect Amazon level customer service whenever possible. That's my benchmark. Until next time, I'm out of darts. Thanks for watching.